So one thing that I've seen a lot of over the years, whether it's been in my practice as a coach or just with my friends, it is when men think that they can change slash fix slash repair the woman. What do I mean? Well, here's the bottom line, guys. If you meet a woman and she starts telling you about her past experiences, doesn't necessarily have to be past relationship experiences. It could be situations that she found herself in and the decisions that she made and how she treated other people in relative to whether or not she made decisions that were completely selfish based or whether or not the decisions seemed to be best for everybody involved. If you are listening to her stories and you're kind of going internally thinking that was not a good idea, that was a dumb mistake, that was selfish, shouldn't have treated somebody that way, I wouldn't have made that decision. If those are the thoughts going on in your head, do not fall for the trick of masculinity that a lot of us fall into, which is, she won't do that to me. I'm too good. If I treat her right, if I treat her well enough, she won't do that to me. She won't become selfish with me. She won't become short sighted with me. She won't start arguments with me. She will not make decisions that are not good for both of us and both, in the relationship. She won't do those things because I'm a high value man or because I'm going to treat her right or I've got money or any of the other reasons that men might convince themselves that a woman is not going to repeat her behavior with you. It might take some time, but eventually everything comes to the surface. And now that is true, generally speaking, for most people. Now, does it mean people can never change? No. If you meet somebody and she is telling you, well, I made this, and this decision. I recognize that they were bad decisions and I'm working on fixing that. Okay, you can consider that situation. But a lot of times what you'll do is you'll meet a woman who is explaining to her past experiences and her traumas, and you are listening to her relay the story of why she did certain things, and there's no accountability. There's no recognition that the problems that she now face, that it's as a result of these other decisions that she's made at times when, a man might look at those decisions and say, what are you doing? Why are you doing that? So the point here is not to belittle the woman for making poor decisions. We all make poor decisions. The point here is that if you meet a woman and you're listening to her talk and she's giving you examples of things that you would never tolerate, but the way that she's framing it is, that was in the past. That was because he was abusive. That was because I had to get out of my parents' house. That was because of all the wonderful things he does. You see what I'm saying? If it's all something else's and somebody else's fault and it's all circumstantial and woe is me, do not fall for the trick that your good behavior is going to rub off on her, that you're a high vibe, high energy, high value man, and that's going to rub off on her. Do not make that mistake. That is one that I see men make over and over and over again. Now, I'm not saying men are perfect. Nobody's perfect, and we make mistakes too. Generally speaking, though, we can look back and go, yeah, that was stupid. I shouldn't have done that. That was a bad. How many times do you hear a woman in the context of talking to her man that she's courting? How many times are you going to hear her say, that was a dumb idea? I shouldn't have done that. You'll hear it every once in a while. And if you do hear a woman say that while you're courting her, that's as they say, a green flag, right? But if she's blaming the other man, or she's blaming her parents or her kids or the school or her job or her coworkers, and the list goes on and on and on. If it's always somebody else's fault for those mistakes, guys, don't fall into the trap, because you will. You will, because in the beginning, the energy between you two, the hormones will be flowing, and it might appear as though that she is going to be, I don't want to use the word submissive, let's say receptive. It will appear as though she's going to be receptive to your suggestions and your ideas. But over time, what you will find yourself in those situations that she was describing, the things that she did wrong, the mistakes that she made, that you really can't say that was a dumb mistake. You can't say that to her, right? Because she's gone then. You will eventually find yourself embroiled in those situations. And you're going to look yourself in the mirror and you're going to go, I should have known. I should have seen this. She told me about this time and this time and this time. What made me think it was going to be any different? It won't. If she is saying that she's working on herself and she recognizes her patterns and her problems from before, okay, that's fine, because we all end up in that position at some point, right? But if she's blaming everybody else, guys, that's another one where you just need to run.